By Mayuresh Joshi, HOR, Marksmith, India. Hi Mayuresh, thanks for joining in.
Yeah, hi, afternoon to you guys.
Good afternoon. So Mayuresh, TCS is out with its numbers. So what do you make of the numbers firstly?
No, pretty much in line with estimates. It was expected to be a seasonally weak quarter for the sector as a whole. But generally, I think in terms of reported numbers has been very much in line with what the street probably believed. I have not seen the sectoral bifurcation in terms of how numbers have got reported across the various subsegments. But looking at the numbers prima facie, I think tad in line with what the street probably believes.
Hi Mayuresh, Jasmeet Singh joining in here. To the profits, we see there's a slight decline in the profits and what was expected. The profits are down by 12% when the expectation was 6% of uptick in the profits. So we see a one-off exceptional item impacting the profits. So what do you make out of that?
So I think the one-off has definitely impacted, which has created that absolute impact in terms of the profitability number. But ultimately, Jasmeet, I think it's the management call which is going to be extremely critical in terms of how they are looking at discretionary spend as we head into Q4. How are different subsegments looking like? And therefore, I think in terms of order wins, pricing, and expectations in terms of stability of utilization levels across its subsegments as we speak, I think it's going to be extremely important for the management to probably speak and dwell on these aspects going forward. So I think if you probably adjust for the one-off, again, I think not too perturbed. I think very much in line with expectations by the street.
Well, thank you for that. Now, we have seen this trend coming up where TCS has made a mention of the impact coming in from the overall labor code. So do you see this continuing for other pack as well? We have HCL Tech coming up in few minutes, and then we also have Infosys lined up in this week. So do you see similar trends being carried on by all the large cap and mid cap firms?
It should be, I think. And they have probably set a benchmark now in terms of a parameter to probably get analyzed as well. Now, whether this is going to be a substantial and a structural impact going forward is to be seen. But looking at the number, I think they've clearly made out a differentiation in terms of how that number is being played out on the balance sheet and what kind of a difference it is making in the next few quarters as well.
Well, right, yeah, rightly said. The company has also announced a special dividend of 46 odd rupees. This is on and above of the regular 11 rupee dividend company announces. We see a special dividend coming with the company is returning back the money. So what are your views on this particular dividend that they have done?
So it's always good news, right? If anything additional is getting given to the shareholders, it's a reward to the shareholders. But ultimately, I think it will reflect in terms of how the sentiments will move. But to a large extent, again, I think good news for investors at large. Consistency is something that we will probably look at going forward.
Well, right, but as you have seen in the previous quarter, TCS did make 2 acquisitions, and something like a Coforge has also acquired entities in the AI space. So do you think giving dividend at this point in time is a well move, given they could have used a similar money to acquire more firms in AI space and expand their inorganic growth?
So that's always a question, right? East and buts are always moving around this. And how will they invest back in the company, or how do they invest in growth capital, either in their own business or acquiring other companies to ensure that growth remains on a steady basis, or do they reward shareholders? Again, I think the special dividend that they've used, they might not be finding enough opportunities as we speak at good valuations, but they will be on the lookout because the kind of free cash flows that TCS throws out, I think I'm pretty sure that small acquisitions are on their radar, but they're probably looking at the right entry point and the right valuation.
Well, right, that's a possibility. But if you look at the overall margins, Q3 is generally weaker for the quarter. But on the TCS side, we see the margins have remained flattish of what was seen in the previous quarter as well. So do you see the overall forex tailwind acting out on this particular impact?
It's a possibility, but I think I would like to hear the management comments on this for more.
Well, we also see the overall BFSI side has seen slight downtick on CC terms. But given the Accenture had a good BFSI overall momentum and something like a TCS being BFSI heavy, seeing a slight decline in the BFSI zone. So what are your views on this? What do you make out of being BFSI the biggest segment of the company sees a slight downtick on CC basis?
No, so I think, as I said, the sub-segments need to be disappeared by such mental basis and a line-and-line item basis as well. But largely, I think once Q4 trends are largely decided or determined in the next few weeks, my own sense is that BFSI could have a reasonable amount of spending power coming back as we speak. And therefore, I think this segment, which has contributed significantly to TCS, in my opinion, should continue doing so structurally going forward as well.
Well, talking about a geographical aspect, we have seen geographies have maintained their position so far, but something like an Indian geography has grown by 8% on CC basis when you compare, look at the QOQ figure. So how do you see the overall Indian geography growing, given Indian geography had done really well in the previous quarter as well, and again this quarter we see an up move coming in from overall Indian geography growing the highest, though it contributes very low amount to the overall top line, but still growing at a phase of 4% and then 8%. So what do you think overall, how the growth could be expected in the Indian geography going forward?
It will be steady state, but I think the more important markets are going to be the US and the European markets for TCS, because I think that's where the growth engine for TCS lies.
Well, right. Thank you for that. I get the view of overall gist of how Indian market is growing as well. Now, in terms of the deal wins have come at 9.6 odd billion, which is mostly in line with what the company were expecting. Do you see the trend continuing going forward as well?
It should, but again, as I said, Q4 is something to be watched out for in terms of discretionary spend, and management commentary on this will be extremely critical.
Well, right. Now, something like a TCS has had a lesser impact, can say, of 2,000 odd crore given the new labor code, but something like a mid-cap firm might have a higher impact. So something like a Coforge or Persistent could see a similar downtick in the profits in this particular quarter?
No, again, I think it's up. How are they utilizing the resources, and in what manner and in what sense? So it is a possibility, but I would not outright say that it will cause a huge dent at this juncture. So let's wait and watch on what happens.
Thank you so much for that, Mayuresh, and for the our viewers who are just joining us right now. So holistically, how are you viewing the numbers again? If you could just tell us. I think we've lost the line there. But viewers, we'll slip into a short break, but we'll be back with more action on the other side.